welcome to class everyone. Before we begin moving, we want to start bringing our awareness to the breath and just slow everything down. Slow it all down completely. Breathing deeply in and out of the nose. Take this short period of time before we move as an opportunity to close the eyes if you haven't already. So let's breathe nice and deep in and out of the nose, creating space. And as we sit and create space, we notice any areas of the body that are holding on to excess tension or necessary tension. Allow these areas of the body to relax. Relax the face, the jaw, relax the cheeks and the shoulders. So let's take a deeper breath. If the mind is a little bit erratic and agitated and jumps from thought to thought, let's see if we can just accept this current state of being. Okay, if the mind is restless, let's see if we can accept that the mind is restless. First things first, accepting where we are. Paying attention to a nice long breath. And just for a minute or so, play with the idea that you are not your thoughts and you are not the mental chatter that takes place in your mind. So when that voice says, look around the room, when that voice says, move around, I want you to play with the idea that that voice is just a distraction. And instead of trying to get that distraction to be quiet or to go away, just observe the mental chatter in the mind instead. Any thoughts that enter the mind, you might be thinking, when are we going to start moving? We've got plenty of time, guys. A lot can happen in an hour, so don't worry. Breathe slowly and observe the mental chatter, the impulse. Don't react. Just observe and breathe long and deep. Good. Let's start stretching out the neck. Open the eyes if you haven't already. Maintain a nice long and deep breath throughout the next hour or so. Let's bring our left hand over to the right side of the head. Pulling both shoulders away from the ears. Both shoulders pulling towards the ground. Just getting a nice stretch in the side of the neck. And let's move over to the other side. Pulling both shoulders down towards the ground. Breathing nice and deep. And just understanding that this is what the Wednesday class is all about. It's about fundamentals to begin with. It's about preparation. Let's relax. Stretch out the front of the neck. Let's take the chin up towards the sky. And make some big arcs with the chin from left to right, with the option to pull down on the skin of the neck. Really push the chin up to the sky as we make these arcs. Stretching out the front of the neck. And finally, both hands behind the neck or behind the head, whatever feels comfortable. Let's stretch out the back of the neck. Nice tall spine. And moving from side to side, find what works for you. This is all about finding what works best for you and what feels best for you. So stretch out the back of the neck on both sides and through the middle. And when you're ready, release. Okay. We've slowed down. You know, I'm not speaking for everyone here, but if you have had a stressful and overactive mind today, slow down. Breathe slow. Move slow. Let's come onto the hands and the knees. Tuck the toes. And we'll come back onto the toes, kneeling back, taking the hands behind the body, clasp the fingers together. Let's open the shoulders up, pull the arms straight, chasing the ground with the hands. And when you're ready, allow the upper body to fold over the lower body, untuck the toes, bring the forehead towards the ground. Let's lift the arms overhead. Become aware of whether or not you're shrugging your shoulders into the neck, pull the shoulders away from the body, and then pull the arms overhead. Good. Let's place the hands on the ground in front, shoulders over the wrists, knees underneath the hips. Inhale, bring the chest through, tailbone high, start to warm into the spine. Exhale, round the tailbone underneath, separate the shoulder blades. Inhale through, exhale. Breathe and move in your own rhythm. Every inhale coming through, bringing the tailbone high. Exhale, rounding the tailbone, separating the shoulder blades. Starting to move more into the spine and the hips. Create some big circles over the wrists. We have to warm up the wrists, guys. We really have to. A wrist injury is not worth any handstand or any yoga posture. Good. Let's press that. Let's press back to downward facing dog. So the feet are about 6 inches apart. Hands placed on the ground firmly, fingers spread wide. Pulling the head through the arms, and the heels down to the ground. Let's take the hips really high as we sit in downward facing dog, creating length in the spine. If it becomes tiring on the shoulders, breathe deeply. Let's inhale, float to a nice high plank. Exhale, come onto the knees. And let's come onto the forearms. Elbows underneath the shoulders. Lengthening the legs completely into Sphinx pose. Chest up and through. Pushing the elbows back against the ground. Just allowing that chest to come through even more. Good. Let's come to the ground. Frame the chest with the hands. Inhale into Cobra. Breathe deeply. Again, warming into the spine. Relax the glute muscles. In this posture, there's a tendency for them to tighten up. Relax the glutes. And let's push back to downward facing dog. Good. Let's take the right leg up. Pulling the left heel down to the ground, creating a stretch. And step the right foot in between the hands. Pull back through the left toes and the left heel, creating depth in the lunge. Staying high up on the fingertips, chest raised, gazing straight ahead. And just start to rock back and forth in the lunge. Just feel into it. Nothing special. Good. Let's bring our left knee to the ground. Make sure our right knee is above the right ankle. And let's pull our left heel towards the body, taking hold of the left ankle. Lean back and pull. Creating that stretch and release. Straightening out both legs. Pyramid pose variation. Bringing the chest nice and high. Breathing slow. Let's come back into our lunge. Press back into three-legged dog. And place the right foot next to the left. Left leg raises up. Right heel squeezes down to the ground. Let's step through with the left leg this time. High up on the fingertips. Peel back through the right toes. Press back through the right heel. Chest raised. Deepening into the lunge. Let's rock back and forth. Still warming up. Good. Right knee comes onto the ground. Nice safe lunge with the left knee over the left ankle. Bending at the right knee. Let's pull in and create a stretch in. Woo! Unless you get a cramp. Unless you get a big cramp with that one. Squeeze in and create a nice stretch along the front of the right leg. This is good if you've got knee pain. You might have tight quads, so we're stretching out the quad. And let's release. And straighten through both legs, pyramid pose variation. Just pulling back through the hips, feeling the stretch along the back of the left leg especially. Legs nice and straight, spine nice and long with the chest raised. Exhale and come deeper into the posture. And let's bring our right knee back onto the ground. Both hands press back into three-legged dog. And let's come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, float into a high plank. Exhale with or without the knees, chaturanga. And let's come back into Sphinx pose. Forearms on the ground, elbows underneath the shoulders, chest raised. Breath slow and deep. Pressing our hands firmly into the ground. Let's push through the palms, straightening both of the arms, pulling the shoulders back and the chest through. And back down into Sphinx pose. Let's go 2 more times. 1. Lower and back down. And 2. Squeeze the shoulders back. And relax. The hands frame the chest. Inhale, push up into cobra, relax the glutes. And exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Let's take the right foot up and back and step the right foot in between the hands once again. This time turning onto the outer edge of both feet with our right hand on the inside of the right thigh against the knee. Let's just gently push, creating a real nice opening along the side of the right leg, hip region. Maybe even down the entire IT band. Continue to breathe as we deepen. Let's come back into our lunge. Left knee places on the ground. Left arm raises nice and high. On the exhale, bring the elbow around the leg. Press the palms together and twist with the option to press through the toes, taking the left knee away from the ground. Breathe deeply, lunge deeply. And let's come back into our lunge. Once again into pyramid pose variation. Straightening out both of the legs from the lunge. Coming up onto the fingertips. Inhale, lengthen the spine, raise up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And let's release back into our lunge. Three-legged dog. And into downward facing dog. Left side comes up, right heel squeezes down. Let's step the left foot in between. Right knee presses into the ground. Nice low lunge. Let's turn onto the outer edge of both feet, staying nice and low. Taking the left hand on the inside of the left leg around the knee, just applying some pressure to deepen into this hip opener. Deepening with every breath. Relaxing any areas of the body where tension is being held unnecessarily. And coming back into our low lunge. Right arm raises up nice and long. And let's bring the elbow deeply over the left leg. Palms together, squeeze and twist. With the option to press through the right toes. Raising the right knee. Gazing over the left shoulder. And slowly unravel. Coming back into our pyramid variation. You can always take the option of raising the toes of the left foot towards the sky as well. But in this posture, we always want to inhale, raise halfway, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, bringing the head towards the toes. Coming deeper into the posture. Still pulling back through the right heel. And coming back into our lunge. Let's press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, float to a nice high plank. Exhale, with or without the knees, chaturanga. And once again, into a nice relaxed Sphinx pose. Relax the glutes, chest comes through. Shoulder blades squeeze together, elbows push back. Just press the palms of the hands into the ground firmly, lengthening the arms. An extended cobra. And really feel the effect on the spine. Coming back to the ground, let's go for 2 more. Press. Bring the chest through. And lower back down to the ground. And when you're ready, take 1 final press. Squeezing the shoulder blades back. Pushing the chest through. Breathing deeply into the spine. This is the kind of practice that's perfect to do with your eyes closed once you get a bit more used to the movements. Let's come back onto the ground, frame the chest, inhale up into cobra, exhale into downward facing dog. Good. Breathe in here in down dog. Pulling the heels down to the ground, the head through the shoulders, the hips nice and high. And when you're ready, let's rotate the feet, pointing the toes towards the right side of the mat completely. So we're still in down dog. We've just rotated from the hips, turning the feet to one side, feeling that stretch along the right side body. And let's twist to the opposite side, getting a nice stretch in the left side body. Feel free to take some time now to just ebb and flow between these 2 directions. Seeing if you can maximize the stretch to make it work best for you. Experiment with different motions. This might be new for you, but that's okay. Creating that stretch in the side bodies. Let's come back to downward facing dog. And walk the knees into the center of the mat. Hands come behind the body, palms squeeze together. Inhale, pull the shoulders back. Press the hands towards the ground. Exhale. Continue to breathe deeply. And release. Let's take the knees nice and wide. Big toes placed together. Reaching the arms out in front. Let's sit deeply into child's pose. Using this as an opportunity to rest and breathe. Okay, let's come out of child's pose, placing our hands on the ground, pressing back into downward facing dog, and walking our feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And just allow the upper body to sink over the legs. Always with the option to take both elbows in opposite hands. Bringing the head through the shoulders, relaxing everything completely. Relaxing the neck. Even taking a slight bend in the knees, just to relax even deeper. Let's slowly start to come to a standing position, saving the head for last. Let's inhale, raise through the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Hinging from the hips. Stepping the right foot to the back of the mat. Turning onto the right heel. And coming up into Warrior Two. So the outer edge of the right foot is placed very firmly into the ground. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Sinking deep into the lunge. Left hand comes onto the ground. On the inside of the left foot, let's raise through the right arm. With the option to take the hand behind the back. Pulling back on that right shoulder. Gazing over that right shoulder as well. And release. Let's press back to downward facing dog. Right leg steps in between the hands, turning onto the left heel. Warrior Two on the opposite side. Outer edge of the left foot stays pressed firmly into the ground, shoulders relaxed. Gazing straight over the right fingers. Come to a deep breath. Deepening into the lunge with every breath. Right hand on the inside of the right foot. Left arm raises up to the sky. With the option to wrap the arm around the back, pulling back on the left shoulder. And gazing towards the back of the mat. And release. Let's press back into downward facing dog. Step our left foot in between the hands, turning onto the outer edge of both feet slightly pigeon-toed, nice wide split position. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, hinge from the hips, bringing the head towards the ground. Inhale up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge. Squeezing the belly in towards the thighs. Let's place the hands on the ground. Fingers lined up with the toes. Inhale up halfway. And exhale. Deeper and deeper. Pulling the hips up nice and high, bringing the head towards the ground. Good, and coming up halfway, nice and high on the fingers. And let's walk the heels and toes up until we reach a really nice wide squat. We're just challenging the legs, the lower body in this wide squat. And as we sit nice and deep, let's bring the upper body nice and upright and the hips forwards. Nice horse stance, legs nice and wide, opening the legs actively, rounding the tailbone under, pressing the feet into the ground, staying really strong in the legs here for 5, breathe, 4, 3, 2, staying upright, and 1. Come back to a pigeon-toed posture, forward fold, stretch out the legs, ebbing and flowing from left to right. Pivoting on the left foot, coming to the front of the mat in a lunge. Pressing back to downward facing dog. Let's take the right foot nice and high and step it to the outer edge of the right side of the mat. Peel back through the left toes. We're in lizard pose. High on the fingertips, chest raised. With the option to close the eyes and come to the breath. We also have the option here to come onto the pinky side of the right foot, deepening onto the hands, or maybe even onto the forearms. Keeping the hips nice and low. Good. Let's come back to downward facing dog. Right side comes up once again. Let's bring the right knee behind the right wrist. Right foot behind the left wrist into pigeon pose. Chest nice and high, spine long, peeling back through the left toes. When you're ready, walk deeper into the posture, perhaps coming onto the forearms and bringing the head towards the ground. come to that place of acceptance of your own current ability or of this present moment. And just breathe. Good. Beautiful. Let's come out onto our hands. Walk the left toes forwards. Press back into three-legged dog. Just feel the difference in that right leg now. As we place the right foot on the ground, let's raise through the left leg and step the left foot to the outer edge of the left side of the mat. Initially high up on the fingertips, chest raised, spine nice and long. And in your own time, deepening into lizard pose. Thrusting the hips into the ground. Keeping the knee safely over the ankle. Always with the option to turn onto the pinky side of the left foot. Perfect moment for eyes closed, breathing slow. Good, and let's push back into three-legged dog and back into half pigeon on the opposite side. Let's push back through the right toes, peeling back, high on the fingertips initially. Start to deepen into the posture. Breathe. Deepen onto the forearms, bringing the head towards the ground. Stretch the breath, breathe longer and deeper than you ever have. But not with force, it's a gentle, deep, long breath. Keeping the pelvis level to the ground, making sure not to tilt over to one edge, one side. And let's start to walk ourselves out of the pigeon. And back into downward facing dog. And we can either hop, step, or jump to the front of the mat. Bringing our feet behind the wrists. Inhale, gaze forwards, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. And come into a nice kneeling posture. Creating space. We don't need to go from posture to posture to posture. Take your time. Okay, let's bring our hands behind the body. And let's inhale, raise the hips up towards the sky and pull the knees towards the ground. Opening through the chest, perhaps even being up on the fingertips if this is easier. Shoulders open, hips up, knees down, and relax. We can go for the same posture again, or if you want to come deeper this time, coming onto the forearms, Or the fingertips, if that's still where you're at, that's okay. Hips push up, knees pull forwards and down. Stretching through the front of the body. If you feel like you can come even deeper, let's come onto the back. Keeping those hips raised and the knees pushed towards the ground. Good. Let's lean over to one side, untucking the legs one at a time. Pulling the knees into the chest and hugging the legs with the arms. And just resting here. Let's take the legs nice and high. Soles of the feet to the sky. Fingertips or palms placed at the sides of the body. Push back, keeping the hips up nice and high. Plow pose. Engage the legs. Raise the hips. Breathe deeply. And when you're ready, slowly bringing the spine back to the ground. Feet placed together. Soles of the feet on the ground. Let's take the legs over to the right side. Keep the torso facing upwards. Still gazing towards the sky. Bringing those knees up nice and high back to the sky, back to the center. And the legs go over to the left side. Let's inhale, bring the knees up. Exhale, the knees come over to the right side. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, over to the left side. Close your eyes gently. Inhaling up. And exhale over to the side. Coming back to center when you're ready. Fully extending the legs and arms into Shavasana. Corpse pose, palms facing the sky. Relaxing the fingers, the palms and the wrists. Bringing our awareness through the arms, allowing the arms to relax piece by piece. Coming up through the arms towards the shoulders, relax the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. bring our attention to the toes. Relax the toes fully. The soles of the feet, the heels, and using your own awareness, start to scan up the body through the legs, relaxing each part as you go. When you're ready, bring the awareness into the abdomen. Relaxing the abdomen, acknowledging all of the vital organs within the body. Feeling a sense of appreciation for the vital organs, constantly working, even when we're asleep. Bringing our awareness into the chest. Relaxing the chest. Feeling fully into the center of the chest and the heart. Feeling a sense of appreciation for the heart. Gratitude for the heart that beats lifelong, never asking for anything, never stops. Let's bring our awareness as we scan through the body up into the neck, relaxing the jaw, the cheeks, the eyes, the eyebrows, the sides of the head. Just allow everything to relax. The eyebrows, forehead, and the head itself, the entire head and brain, relaxing the brain, the mind. And then let's feel the sense of relaxation across the whole body at once. Whenever you're ready, making some movements through the ankles. Stretching through the arms, moving through the wrists and the fingers and toes. Breathe life into the body. And make your way back to, come back to a seated posture in your own time. Just checking in with ourselves, noticing if there's a difference in the state that we feel physically, mentally, emotionally between now and before the class. And just remembering that the state of calmness can be carried wherever we go. So let's carry it into the evening and the rest of the week. Breathe slowly when you're feeling stressed. Breathe slowly in day-to-day life. Tune in. Okay. Right. Thanks for coming to class today. Truly appreciate it, everyone. And I'll see you guys later on in the week, most probably.